Okay. Hello, everybody. Good afternoon. Hope you guys all had a good Sunday. Spent yesterday watching the tape from Saturday night, looking at a bunch of things, where we were, where we are, getting ready for UCLA. Had a great team meeting. Did a lot of film work yesterday, getting ourselves ready to go, cleaning up the game from Saturday. Went back and looked. 28, 26, 25, 70, 31, 31, 20, 25. That is the point differential on the games that have played at Utah the last 10 games. So no one seems to become real close when you go to Utah. And unfortunately, we were another one of those teams that lost by 3 scores, similar to the last 8 teams that played there. So we got to figure out a way to make our home field as similar to theirs. I think what they have is an incredible aura over there. People go there and play extremely well. They play extremely well, and people struggle against them. Looking back at, I think I saw UCLA last year lost by 20 at Utah against them, lost by 46 in 2019 against them at their place. And I know that we, when I was there at 2017, we lost by 31 against them. So we got to find a way to make our home field similar to theirs. They have an incredible crowd, incredible energy. People don't want to play there, and that's what we want Arizona Stadium to be like. We kick off at 12 o'clock against Washington State. We just found that out. So that'll be a good noon kickoff for our next home game. But this week is all focused in on UCLA and playing a very, very good team. I'm not sure. I don't know if this is normal or not to play 4 teams in the top 10 in the last 5 weeks. I'm not sure if anyone else in the country has done that. And then I don't know where Washington is ranked currently, but I know they're 7-2. So for the last 5 weeks, our opponents are 38-7. And this is one of those weeks that we're playing another team that is 8-1 and have accomplished what our goal is to accomplish over the course of these next 4 to 5 years, which is go somewhere. Coach Kelly arrived at UCLA in 2018. We were 6-6, 6-0 at home, 0-6 on the road at UCLA in 2017. Lost our bowl game. He went there, went 3-9, 4-8, 4-5, 8-4, and are now sitting there at 8-1 and number I think 9 in the country. So hats off to that build over there those last 5 years, and that's our goal, to get to a place where we can do the same. So looking forward to the challenge. They're a fantastic football team, extremely well coached on all levels. Their offensive line coach, I think, is an excellent football coach. I coached with him at Michigan. You could see how well they're running the football. Coach Drevno, their defensive coordinator, Bill McGovern, I've known for a very, very long time. Back to the Bergen Catholic days, and back to New Jersey in the 80s. And obviously, he's a great coach. They brought him and Ken Norton and I coached together at Seattle. One of my favorite people that I've ever coached with. Deshaun Foster, same thing. And then I have a ton of respect for Coach Kelly. So we got our work cut out for us, and we're looking forward to the challenge.
What's the status of Jacob County?
We'll know more in the next few days. Don't know yet exactly if he'll be good to go or not.
Will go on practice or limited?
We'll see Tuesday if he's going to be limited or not. I'll know better tomorrow morning after we get another day of treatment in. Today was his first day of treatment after, yesterday was his first day, but today's his first day, 1 day post-game, so we'll see what that looks like.
You talked a little bit on Thursday about Speedy Luke and his redshirt process, and I'm wondering, as you begin to have more freshmen that are playing in this first year, how are you communicating that with them in terms of what your months are for them, what their months are for their status in terms of the redshirt process?
Well, they all want to play, so we don't really talk about redshirting, really. They all have 4 years, 4 years of football. You don't never know what's going to happen. So if you have an opportunity to play, they all are chomping at the bit to go in. None of them want to be held out. None of them want to be held back. Don't really talk about it. It's not a topic of conversation for us. When they've been recruited here, That class of 22 that we brought in, every one of them I told I expect them to play as freshmen. So there was no hiding that. That was what they were told when they chose to sign with us and they chose to commit to us. They knew they were going to be part of the build, a very big part of it. And as each week has gone on, more and more pieces have they've become more and more involved. And I'm excited to continue to see maybe a couple more this week will continue to help us. But there's been no conversation at all regarding red shirt with those guys.
Describe that play, the first play where you handed him the ball from like the wing position.
Oh yeah, that's a play I think I saw someone do that. I think in 2015 I saw Auburn do that, and we ran it in 2017 against Kansas State in the bowl game, and then I haven't broken that one out since. No, that's not true. I ran it with Tavion Cunningham against Cal. Ran it with Tavion Cunningham last year, and then we ran it this year. So it was just kind of a little deceptive run to kind of sneak him through, and worked pretty good. I think we got about a 32-yard gain on it.
Went into the decision to not only use Wendell Moe, but start him for his first appearance.
The way he's been practicing. Josh was a little beaten up from the game before, wasn't able to take all the reps. So we're kind of going through a couple of nicks and bruises there with Josh, and Wendell the last 2 weeks has done a really, really good job at practice. He's very strong. He's lost 38 pounds since he's arrived on campus. And he is, you could see him moving really well. You could see him moving the 3 technique. You could see the confidence he's having. So as he was gaining knowledge in our offense, it gave us more of an opportunity to play the 2 young guards. And now we've got 2 freshmen lined up with a sophomore in the middle.
What does it mean for Sam Longy, since he'd been rotating previously with Josh at left guard?
Yeah, so Sam will have the ability to rotate in at guard and at right tackle. He's been able to play kind of a little bit of jack of all trades. He's been able to really all 4 positions minus center has been where Sam has rotated through, and he'll continue to do that if need be.
As you watch the tape, how do you think Wendell performed in his first game against Utah?
Really well. He graded out really well. Did a lot of good job. Our run game was very good. We averaged 7 yards per play. They averaged 5.7 per play. The problem was we ran 57 plays and they ran 82. So we moved the ball at a very good clip. If looking back at the game, we were inside their 40-yard line. I think we had 15 snaps out of 52 inside their 40. And a lot of that had to do with the way we ran the ball, and a lot of that had to do with running the ball to the left. So I thought he did a really good job there. And then in pass protection, really no deficiencies. One time maybe got beat a little bit, but I thought he had a good first outing, and he was extremely excited about going back out there, and him and Josh were able to rotate series.
That touchdown that was called back, what explanation did you get from the refs from Michael Wiley's touchdown?
They said that the hand hit the pylon before the ball. I don't know what that means, but that's what they told me. They said that in pro football, if the ball is in your hand and it hits the pylon, it's a touchdown. In college football, if the hand hits before the ball hits, it's down at the half-yard line. So that was the explanation that I was given, and I accepted it and moved on.
Have you ever seen anything like that before?
That was the first time I've ever seen that. As a matter of fact, I did not know that rule. I thought that if the ball, that it's an extension is the term used in the NFL, that the ball is an extension of your hand. So it was a little bit different in this case.
Does Andy Simpson have the green light on any kickoff return to bring it out? What are kind of the rules that you have set up for that?
No, there's one that if you're referring to, he should have stayed in. A couple of those were right on about the half-yard line that you don't have much of an option. I mean, you could fair catch it, but we do tell them that if we have a return set up, we would like to take the return. We don't usually fair catch outside of the goal line, but usually there was one in the end zone. We would have liked him to fair catch.
Have you ever used those big full-color play sheets that you see on TV all the time?
Yeah, I just use. I think it's more the older you get, the tougher glasses, the more glasses you need, and I think it's kind of really more for size purposes than anything else. But yeah, I've had the bigger call sheets, the smaller call sheets. I like to have 2 sheets rather than 1 because I like to doodle on the back of 1. So I've kind of taken it instead of 1 big sheet that is front and back. I do 2 sheets, 8.5 by 11, and leave the back empty to be able to write on.
Scotty Graham in preseason, spring and all that, he's always mentioned the importance of taking care of the ball and all that. How did he handle the game against Utah?
Well, he didn't have to handle it because I was about ready to lose my mind. So I lost it for all of us, Brian, on that one. The running backs handled the ball well, first of all. So I don't want to Coach Graham's group did handle the ball well, but he is our ball security coach for the group. But we put the ball on the ground 7 times. At the quarterback and wide receiver position, Jacob and Jaden particularly. That's not okay. They know that. There was a couple times on an exchange that you could, that unfortunately maybe the running back might have been credited for it on the one that hit Mike Wiley's elbow. But all of that is preventable. I didn't see any fumble that I would say wasn't a preventable fumble. The question becomes how much of the elements affected the ball. I would say a lot, but I would also say that's not an excuse. They put it on the ground twice, and we had a couple other chances, I thought, for interceptions based on high balls that probably flew out of his hand or a tip ball based on the weather. But in the end, you can't drop snaps. You can't fumble the ball. You've got to understand the wind in some of those punt situations, especially that one with Jacob. The wind started howling, and you got to let it bounce. Unfortunately, I thought on the game at the moment we should have fielded it, but then the more you watch a TV copy and you see how that ball just kind of spun at the last second. If you can't field it, we just got to live with it. That was a tough one though because it looked like he was right underneath it, and then the wind blew, and I think he just kind of put his hands out there and hoping to catch it.
Did anything stand out to you regarding Jaden's performance in the passing game, watching the film versus when you saw it from the sideline?
We weren't very good in any area in the passing game. I thought that we had, too many drops. First of all, we should never even had a 4th and 20. We had Tanner on a tight end over the middle screen that, should have put us at a 4th and 5. First play of the game, we had a seam ball to Tanner that we should have made. I thought there was a couple times that we left our read early. We never should have thrown the go ball down the sideline on 3rd and 4. We had Dorian Singer on a shallow crosser and zone coverage for a first down. I thought that we got a little bit excited back there. I thought that the ball, the elements were kind of affecting us. Thought we didn't really handle the full passing game the way we normally would. And in turn, we wound up, having, I think it was 3 drops. 3 drops that I could think of. Cowling with 1, Tanner with 2, and I think that we certainly are a better football team than we showed.
Years ago, before you got here, ATP gave all the student athletes election day off in order to vote. I haven't heard of, is the department doing that this year? And has your We Educate Wednesdays focused at all on the importance of these young adults getting involved in the voting process?
Yeah, that's a great question. The new rule is that within 2 weeks of Election Day, every student athlete has to be given a day off. So for us, we gave an additional day off on the bye week. We gave them 3 days off, one of which was for them to be able to have early voting. We also had a roundtable discussion that was for the student athletes to learn about all the different, let's call it, options in terms of how to vote, how to use the mail-in votes, how to handle if you're out of state, how to vote. We also brought in some people to talk about the reason why voting is so important. We've tried to get everybody registered to vote with Coach Steptoe. We've made that available as well. And then we have constant communication. I believe within the athletic department, I saw 2 more events that are occurring to be able to assist in that. We are not giving tomorrow off. Tomorrow's Tuesday. Yeah, we're not giving tomorrow off. They have up until 2 p.m. Prior to their first obligation in our building if they want to go vote in person. But we did use that Monday of the bye week to encourage them to be able to go out and take care of anything they needed to do. And then we spoke about it as a team.
Jackson Turner looked a little tentative in tackling in that game. I'm sure everybody's dealing with something at this point in the season. Is he a little
Yeah, Jackson, you probably saw that he was bandaged up pretty good or braced up pretty good on his right hand. Just kind of dealing with some, as you said, everybody's dealing with something. He's had a few other injuries that have, nicks and knacks, bruises, but I didn't find him to be hesitant or tentative. We just tried to rotate him and Isaiah Taylor a little bit more than usual to try to keep him fresh. Okay. Thank you, guys.